you know, I asked my company to be sure that I needed to tarp this, because not only when I just came to get loaded, the guy informed me that the person who's purchasing these shingles are making a ton of money because the shingles are expired. And I don't know if you can see, but I mean, they're corroded as well. Now, on my bills, it says that this needs to be tarped. These shingles, they're expired. So they've been sitting right there for 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years, the guy says that the shingles been sitting out here. What's the point? And you know, look. Look. 2 to 3 years. Let's throw these straps. Get it done. Two in the first. $15 stacks. Two in the back. Hey, boss. Come here. What? I gotta tarp this? Can you sign? Can you sign and say I don't have to tarp it?
I don't know. Daddy's customer because Daddy your broker is telling you. Sorry.
Look, dude is like, nah, you ain't gotta tarp that. First, I asked him to sign it. He's like, oh, no. You gotta talk to the broker about that. The reason I'm sliding this in here is because it's gonna be tarped, right? So it don't have to be in any certain way. You know, I just thought of, ha! I'm not tarping the whole thing. If it's just about the plastic, like why? We're gonna do good just like this. Trying to gauge whether it's close on both sides. Hey, it is what it is. Let's, so my solution to the problem, probably not the best solution, but I'm only putting one tarp on it. They specifically said that the tarp was for the protection because the plastic was coming off of the packages, so they just don't want it to strip off anymore. I can almost guarantee that that's not going to happen with the wind and stuff. So I'm just but I still had to call my company to be sure, to see if they could help me find out the reason. If they would have said salt, I'd have tarped this whole thing up, no issues. I wouldn't have liked it because I don't believe it needs to be tarped. There's no more damage that could possibly happen to these things. They're horrible. You know, I don't even know who's gonna actually put these on somebody's house. That's a little weird to me, but you know, but that's not for me to decide. Either way, so I'm gonna put one tarp on. It literally goes all the way to the last pallet. So we're gonna get down the road like that. So am I trying to convince others not to tarp when they feel like they shouldn't tarp? No. What I'm just saying is, be sure, talk to your company. If I would have had to tarp it, like, you know, like I said, I wanted to know what it was before. Now, if they would have said salt, then I would have tarped this whole thing. But if he specifically said it's because the wrapper's coming off and they don't want any more of the wrapper to come off, listen, okay, I'll do you one. And even the guys here at Owens Corning said that it just doesn't, they don't understand why I'm tarping it, you know? So even these guys have no idea why I'm tarping this thing. So we found out that it was because of the plastic coming off of the packages, and they want to preserve them as best as possible. Okay, fine. Better than to find out than not to find out is what I'm saying. Don't just say, oh, I'm not tarping it, and just be, because if you get a load claim or a refusal, it's coming out of your pocket somehow, some way. If it's your fault, I mean. And what I mean by that is, yeah, maybe they don't take it out of your check, but now you're losing time. You're losing time because you wanted to mess around and be, you know, don't get me wrong, I've done it before where I've skipped some tarping, or I've talked to the people at the company that said, nah, you don't gotta tarp it, even though my company is telling me I gotta tarp it. And it's worked out both ways for me. I actually, where it worked out great, and I had it where it didn't work out so great. You know, I got all the way, I got delivered, and there was a little bit of rust on the plates, and of course they held me liable for it. Now, I didn't get a claim for those plates. I didn't get a claim, but what happened was I lost time. And that's what I mean. Like, if I'm losing time, I'm losing money. I don't care. It doesn't matter how you see it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm losing time, I'm losing money. So I had to spend hours there until they figured it out and called corporate and did all this other stuff. But I never got the claim. They're like, we'll call you when we get to those plates in the pile. If there's an issue, then we'll file the claim then. Claim was never filed, so, but I lost time. Whole bunch of nonsense had I just tarped the plates, you know? So now, then there was another issue. Let me talk about another issue. So then there was another issue where I talked to the receivers, and the receiver said that it didn't need to be tarped. And I was coming in with these tarp loads from Jersey. So the receiver told me it didn't need to be tarped. So I wasn't tarping it. I spoke directly with the receiver. Now, there was a guy at my job trying to be clever and called in on me. Seen me coming down the freeway and said, hey, why is it I see Claxon over there. He's not tarped. Why am I tarping if he's tarping? Well, I can tell you why, because you're not communicating with the loaders and the offloaders. So he calls in. Of course, dispatch calls me up and she says, hey, I just heard from a little birdie that you forgot to tarp your load. Quote unquote, that's what she said. She said, I heard from a little birdie that you forgot to tarp your load. I said, forgot? I said, nah, I didn't forget at all. She said, is your load tarped? I said, no. She said, well, I don't get it. It says that it's tarped. I said, well, you said forgot. I didn't forget to tarp it. I spoke to the receivers. The receivers said it didn't need to be tarped, so I didn't tarp it. Oh, that's different. I said, yeah. So who told you that I didn't tarp it? I can't tell you that. Oh, okay. And my company wasn't mad or upset. You know, she was wild cool. She had to do her job. She had to figure out if, you know what I'm saying, if I was tarped. So sure enough, I told the truth. Said, no, I wasn't. I'm not tarped. And but I did not forget. I just didn't do it. There's a difference between forgetting and not doing it. So, you know, you got them real cool teammates that instead of just, you know, if he really had an issue with it, or if I had an issue with it, I will call up dispatch. They say, hey, can I get the phone number, the truck number, yada, 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 yada. Let's see, I see him driving crazy, reckless or something. I'm gonna call in dispatch and tell dispatch, oh, this guy, you know, he's driving like this, he's driving like that. No, I'm gonna call dispatch and I might ask for the phone number. Say, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you give me the phone number, the yada, 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 truck number, yada, yada, yada. Hopefully, dispatch tells me no. Let me tell you why I say that. Because if someone calls up and asks for my number and they just willingly give it out, there's going to be some issues. There's going to be some issues. So the reason what I would, now this is me playing chess. So I would expect dispatch to say, no, we can't give you the number. I just asked that question first because it could be an easy route. If they do give it to me, then great. If they don't, like they shouldn't, and they say, well, we don't know if we can give out this person's number. Okay, cool. Can you do me a favor then? Can you give them my number? Please give truck yada, 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 so-and-so my phone number. Tell them it's very important that he calls me. And then if they do that, which I'm sure they will, you know, and the guy calls me, I'll say, hey man, look, I saw you wasn't tarped. I didn't want to say nothing to, you know, I really don't want to say nothing to dispatch because I don't know the reason you're not tarped. And maybe you know something I don't know. Do I have to continue to tarp this? Oh, no, man, Choice. I spoke to the receiver. The receiver said we didn't have to tarp. Oh, man. That's some great information. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's how that would have went down. But instead, we got to get, you know, we got to have guys over here telling on, you know, for what? Gaining brownie points? You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. That don't, like, that's not something that happens. Well, it's not something I go through over here like that. But, nonetheless, you know, it does happen. I mean, hell, you know, there's other companies that have these safety teams out here that are big on all of that. Safety, load claims fall under safety guidelines. So you get a load claim that's damn near the same as dealing with safety, you know? So man, if that wasn't perfect, I don't know what is. So I got 2 steel tarps, no flaps. Well, I'm just gonna assume that the other one doesn't have any flaps. Here we go, we got it tarped. Got a steel tarp here, 4-foot drop, no flaps. I'm carrying expired shingles. Why do I have the back exposed? Because the only reason it's being tarped is to protect the plastic from continuing to shred. I'm pretty positive that I'm not going to have any issues on that back pallet, but to appease the masses and so that we don't get in any trouble, I did throw a tarp over the front.